Yeah, so right now, of course, that scene just on the east side of where we're at right now. For those of you just tuning in, we're at Northeast 10th Street and Dixie Highway. Again, this crash site is on the east side of Dixie Street. We've been here for about 30-40 minutes, but you can still see a large presence out here. Now, I want to focus in. We've been talking about this apartment complex where the helicopter came down. We had a chance to speak to some of these residents that were there, and they just describe a chaotic morning, from hearing loud pops to walking outside and seeing smoke and fire, as you can imagine. But from where we're at right now, we can't see the location. Of course, we have Sky 10 getting aerials for us right now. But if you're looking from where we're standing right now at the media staging area, again, that would be Northeast 10th Street and Dixie Highway in Pompano Beach. It would just be beyond that. They have a mobile command center set up. You can see fire trucks and first responders all congregated over in that area. And that's where it's believed a majority of this scene is unfolding right now. They do have us back. Of course, traffic delays around this entire area just getting here. You can imagine a lot of detours keeping people out of this area. So if you're driving in the area, I would definitely look at alternative routes. But back to the residents we had a chance to speak with. We talked to one lady who was highly emotional whenever we first arrived, and she told us that this helicopter went down near her brother's apartment complex. He was taken to the hospital. So a lot of worry and concern from residents out here. But another lady told us she actually woke up to hearing those loud pops, and she said it sounded like debris was raining down near her apartment complex. She said she walked outside, noticed a giant hole in one of the buildings, and that's when she made her way over to the area where we're standing right now. As you can imagine, people still throughout this area right now, kind of just congregating in this area. We do know BSO is supposed to at some point hold a press conference, but I want to go ahead and toss out to one of the sound bites from an interview that we did so you can get a feel for just kind of the energy out here.
I'm trying to find out what's going on with my brothers. They're at the hospital, and I just got a phone from my son, and I don't know what's going on. So I just need a minute to figure out what's going on
over there.
At the house or
the house?
Is that
what police department helicopter hit there?
And that's your son's address?
My sons they fine. They at the hospital.
But you think the thing crashed into your son's place?
Yes, it was
Yes,
my
we
brother.
got
It's my
a
brother.
call
My
earlier.
brother. And my
your
mom's
brother.
house.
How many people are inside?
There were
It was
two.
just two. And they're okay?
We're at the hospital right now. The
hospital.
fire,
We'll be up there later,
sheriff
okay?
people say they're okay, but I haven't spoken to them.
When I was inside, when I opened the pop, 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 I said fire, blew all everywhere.
What else did you see? Give me as detailed as you can be what you saw. As you just heard, those were some of the interviews we had out here earlier. That first lady you heard from, of course, worried about her brother. The second gentleman told us what he woke up to. And we have another interview from a resident inside who told us about the debris she heard raining down outside. But let's go ahead and just get another look over there. You can see some first responders making their way back over to the area of Northeast 10th Street and Dixie Highway. But just across on the eastern side is really where this scene is unfolding right now. That's where when we first got here, we were able to see just a dark gray smoke kind of coming up from the ground over in that area. Of course, if we can get up to Sky 10 right now and give you an aerial view of the scene. From there, you can see, obviously, a lot of first responders out here in this area. Again, we're still waiting for official word for this press conference that's supposed to happen with and law enforcement who will take lead over that. But that's the scene right now. Of course, it's starting to rain just a little bit, but you can see still a lot of activity. A lot of questions still remain out here, but I'll send it back to you in studio.
All right, so your Nefzi live for us this morning, getting the very latest right outside where the staging area is. We were expecting a news conference to start soon. Again, we are hovering overhead, a helicopter, BSO rescue helicopter crashing into that apartment there in Pompano Beach. A devastating scene left behind. We do know that there are fatalities, as clearly indicated by that yellow tarp you see right there at the crime scene. But we also know that there were 4 people who were taken away from this scene. None appear to be in critical condition.
I know a lot of people are watching, having a hard time getting around where they need to go in Pompano Beach. Let's bring in Syra Onward to talk about our traffic situation, because a lot of that area is blocked off due to the investigation, the crash, and also we have a media staging area waiting to hear from the BSO sheriff.
That's right, Jason and Eric. So it's really important to show our viewers exactly where this happened, what is closed, and how to get around it. So here I made this map graphic for you. We know this crash happened in the area southwest of Pompano Beach Air Park. So I'll show you exactly where that is and where we're seeing this closure. Right now we know that this closure is on Dixie Highway between Atlantic Boulevard and Northwest 15th Street. Here we have Atlantic here. Northwest 15th Street is right here. I put this ambulance graphic here, but this helicopter crash actually happened. It's a tiny little ambulance. You can see right here is where this helicopter crashed, but this is how it's affecting traffic. All of this is closed from Atlantic Boulevard, Dixie Highway between Atlantic Boulevard and Northeast 15th Street, which is right here. So that's all closed. So your alternates, you can take Federal Highway, you can take I-95, you can take Andrews Avenue. But this whole stretch right here, I know you're seeing a lot of green. That's a little misleading right now because authorities are telling us this whole area is closed. So you're going to want to get out of the way, let our first responders do their job here, let our investigators out here do their jobs. Don't try to get through this closure. Again, the closure is Dixie Highway between Atlantic Boulevard and Northeast 15th Street. Your alternates, Federal Highway, I-95, and Andrews Avenue. We do know Roy Ramos is on the scene there, so we'll hear from him and see what he can see from his perspective.
Yeah, Syra, we just arrived at the scene here, but it was not an easy task to get to this location. I'm standing right at the corner of Northwest 10th Street and Dixie Highway, but as you mentioned, the road was blocked off near Atlantic Boulevard. I can tell you that I was able to make it in just a few streets, probably to around 3rd Street or so before I was diverted around Dixie Highway. As I mentioned, we had to come to the staging area, which is on 10th, so I had to head back east and then work my way back, I had to head west and then work my way back east in order to get to the scene here. But for those drivers that are traveling in this area, we do not recommend that you approach the area of Dixie Highway near Atlantic, and that blockage is going to go up north all the way to about 15th Street. I can tell you that while I am standing on 10th Street, the road does remain shut down. There's no way that traffic can get through this area because first responders have their vehicles parked on Dixie Highway for that long stretch that you mentioned there. This obviously a very active scene. The majority of the activity seems to be on the east side of Dixie Highway, and that, of course, is where that helicopter crash happened. Obviously, a lot going on out here. We're going to continue to gather more details as soon as this press conference with the Broward Sheriff's Office gets underway, and we'll bring those details right to you as soon as they come to us.